All right. So a week or two back, I was doing a review of the Edward Young Jamaican Old Blue Mountain liqueur, whatever it was, that was made by this very interesting company called Edward Young, a company out of England, and it was dated back to the 1940s. And in that review, I made a comment that it had a through line that stretched all the way through to the Young's Old Sam rum that I had reviewed many years ago, 15 years ago, in point of fact. It was review number 4 or something like that. Now, that rum is still being made. And while I have no idea how far back it stretches, I was not able to actually get any references that predated the 2000s, unfortunately, although I'm absolutely convinced it's older than that. But here's what I know about the Young's Old Sam rum that the Newfoundland and Labrador Liquor Corporation, or the NLLC, make with what is now Guyanese stocks only. I have no idea what any originals were. Now, in 1999, the NLC got the brand name, the rights to use the brand name Young's Old Sam from wherever it was, probably from the estate or the bankruptcy proceedings or the closure of Edward Young and Company, which closed its doors in 1986 or something like that. But they must have had an arrangement with the diamond distillers down in Guyana, because almost all of the rums that are made by the Newfoundland Liquor Corporation, which is the manufacturing arm of the NLC, they are Guyanese stocks almost entirely. There's a Jamaican or two, but for the most part, it's almost all Guyanese, including this one. Now, leaving aside the whole business about Edward Young, right? The Young's Old Sam, which continued along its way with a stylized yellow label and a picture of a person on it, which after 2020 started to become a bit of an embarrassment because of the Black Lives Movement issues that raised it. You know, people said, well, who is this guy, Young's Old Sam? Is this like another Uncle Tom character that we're supposed to like Aunt Jemima or Uncle Ben or whatever it is? So NLC just decided to get rid of it. And now what you have is a bottle that is nothing but labeled. There's nothing but text on it, right? And what it tells you is actually not that much. Um, as an aside, it really does beggars belief why they would bother to remove the label the way they have, remove the image of the gentleman, whoever he was, because the Young's Old 5-year-old, or the 5 as they call it, still has it. So why one and not the other? I have no idea. But okay. So when I started doing my research on this thing, I was interested enough to find out that according to the back of the label on the bottle, what it says is that it is from the only surviving wooden coffee still in existence. And of course, that immediately makes it the Enmore still out of Guyana. The website, on the other hand, says something completely different, or at least a variation of the same theme. What they say is that it is a blend of rums, and one of them is this mark of the Enmore coffee still. So, you know, kind of like, which one is it? Is it all Enmore or is it some Enmore? We're going to have to taste it to find out. The other thing is, how old is it? Well, it is supposed to be, according to this, 2 years old, right? Minimum age 2 years old, and so on. It's a blend, of course. The website says 1.5 or 15 months and older. So again, we've got a discrepancy here that I can't quite explain. Let's just assume it's just around the 2-year-old mark. And remember, it's made for mixing. This is not a sipping rum. It's not priced that way. It's not sold that way. It's not marketed that way. This is a mixing rum, which doesn't make any never mind to me. I have to try it the same way as I try everything else. A couple of other things. One, look at the color. That little sucker is dark as my ex-wife's heart. So it's been colored, and I did try it with my hydrometer. It did test out at 38.86%, which basically means there's about 8 grams per liter of something in there. I hesitate to say it's sugar. It's not sweet enough for that, but there's something. And when you nose it, you're getting not Enmore at all. At least not the Enmore that I'm familiar with, and I know Enmore pretty damn well. I've tried enough of them in my time to know. It is a blend of something with a bit more maybe in it, so you're getting a lot of licorice, prunes, plums, very dark fruit like a Christmas cake. There's a little bit of leather, a little bit of smoke. There's some burnt pastries in there. There's something burnt in there that, like a bun that's been too long in the oven and they hope you just get that smoke out of it. It's not actually unpleasant. The nose really is quite good, but the taste is something else again. Mm, 40%, ma'am. They got to move past this. Um, it's thin, it's scratchy, it's bitchy. It tastes like it wants nothing better than to get the hell out and stay out, and it does. It finishes like in laba time, it's just gone, which is kind of a shame because you do get some blancmange and some toffee and caramel notes in here. That smoke is back. You get those little bit of ripe fruits, that bit of licorice, that bit of burnt something or the other toast. Let's call it toast. And even a red wine nip or two. I mean, there's potential here. If they were to actually age this thing a little bit more and push it through to the like 5, 6, 7, 8 year old line, well, then they might actually have something. The bottle does say that it's been blended and aged in, or at least aged completely in Guyana. It's hard to say. There's nothing on the NLC website that suggests they have an aging program in place, although they do have a manufacturing thing. Now, NLC is a crown corporation, which basically means a government monopoly within that province. And I have my real issues with government getting into commercial activities. I really don't think they should. I think they should regulate and tax the hell out of it, like they do in Alberta. But the truth is that my personal political preferences aside, that's not a bad rum to smell, and it's not a bad rum to mix. If you're going to take this thing neat, it's really not the bee's knees at all. It's not. It's too thin for that. It needs a little bit more robustness and a little bit more body. And there's a certain cloyingness that I really don't like about it. It just doesn't quite turn my crank the way it once did. And I've referenced this in my work quite a lot because I have really fond memories of getting blotto on it every single Friday. I just mix myself a rum and coke and a rum and coke and a rum and coke and a rum and coke. Next, half the bloody bottle is gone, and I have a really nice buzz on and go to bed, but yeah, let's just say that I've gone a little bit past those days now and I drink a lot less, and I certainly don't do that anymore. But as a mixer, it really is going to be very good. I think I'm going to score this around 78 points or there, 3 stars, however you want to call it, because it's worth that. But if you are looking for a premium sipping experience, this isn't it. And over and beyond that, there's all sorts of these little niggling discrepancies between the website and the label that I don't particularly like. I think the NLC should really get their asses in gear and do something to kind of like close the gap there. Otherwise, it just confuses people. And again, there's that business of trust, right? If you can't trust what the label says, why would you even waste your time? So that's it for today. I have a few others on my shelf that I really want to get out the door really fast. So I may do another one today. But for the moment, really have a good weekend. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.